All right, family, welcome to another broadcast right here. We are calling this Plantation, Digital Plantation Radio. So glad that you guys can join us today. We'll be starting here momentarily. Just checking things out here. Try, buy, make it, sell it. Go to our link tree page and scroll to the bottom. That's all you got to do. Scroll down to the bottom. It will say PayPal. You'll see that at the bottom. You'll see that at that, and the link is right there. I wish I could tell you. I don't know it offhand. I got so many addresses I'm trying to remember. But thank you again. Like I said before, thank you again for your for you and anybody else, your kindness, your generosity. If you want to contribute to the work that we're doing here on this platform, and so glad that you guys can join us. We'll be starting here momentarily, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hit it, y'all. And remember, we're gonna do this is Digital Plantation TV. Yeah, we're changing it up here. And right after this broadcast, we'll be switching to Off Plantation Radio. And that will be on mybondtube.com. And that is where we can play our own music. We can play videos. We can kind of chill. We can talk about a lot of these topics that we can't touch. I can't touch on this plantation. So yeah, we're going to talk about, I got a few things lined up over there already that we're going to look at and discuss. I'm not going to even touch it over here. But yeah, another beautiful day. It was very, very nice out there. And got a not too good story to share. Okay. But I'm laughing though. Okay, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So, I'll tell you about it in a moment. Okay, we're gonna give people just one more minute here. We're gonna give people just one more minute, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Man, there's a lot of mess going on out here in these YouTube streets. I just perusing some of this stuff. I was like, y'all can have all of it. Y'all can have all of it. I'm serious. Y'all can have every last bit of it. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I just whatever. Anyway. Good to see everybody in the house. And yeah, I tell you, it was a nice day. Nice day out there. One of the things I was trying to do is I wanted just to ride the doggone bike. I couldn't make it because I was ripping and running today, man, and still doing it. I made some for my African folks, particularly in the West African region. Yours truly made some cassava leaf. I made a cassava leaf meal today. I did, and it came out better than the last time. It came out better than the last time. I'll put it that way. So it's progress, okay? So I ain't mad, okay? I love cassava leaf and potato greens. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Those are two of my favorite dishes from the continent. And I said, man, I can do this. This is simple. It is, but you gotta make sure you got everything. But anyway, we made it work. We made it work. Anyway, cassava leaf, for those who are, cassava leaf, potato greens, in case for those of you who aren't aware of that, it's kind of like for those of us here in the in the United States, here we're more used to collard greens, for example. Think of collard greens, but you chop it up very, 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 very fine, right? You chop it up very fine, and you add some other oils and stuff like that, and you palm oil you add to it. You can add some other stuff to it. They usually put smoked fish in there. You could put some other things in there too, and but that's pretty much, it's a pretty simple meal. So anyway, went to the African marketplace today, and so I say, okay, they got cassava leaf, check. Okay, they got palm oil, check. All right, let's go over to the smoked meat section, and this particular one we went to, oh yeah, it was, how some things you can say, it's a hit or a miss. This was not a hit. I'll just say that particular section. Okay. I was like, did King Tut freeze this himself? Did he wrap this up himself? That stuff looked like it been up in there for a minute. Okay. But other than that, they got everything covered. I ain't trying to be, I'm just saying, but that right there, I was like, you know what? We're going to have to pivot a little bit on this part. So that's what we did. We went to so I went to the other store, ShopRite, and I got some smoked turkey wings, and I said that will do. So yeah, that's what I did. I got some smoked turkey wings and put up in there, and we threw it together. We made it work, and it came out pretty good. And yeah, I will definitely be doing that again. So. Who knows? You may see me with a chef hat up in here one day. You'll never know. Trust me, you never know. I already got some other things lined up too I'm gonna be doing. And so another thing I'm doing too is I'm finally gonna go back to the gym. Yes, indeed. I am going to go back to the gym, ladies and gentlemen. And because I said it's been too long. And it's something when you see yourself on the camera, it has a way of slapping you upside the head saying, look at yourself. How dare you let yourself get to this point? And so, yeah. So I said, yeah, I'm trying to make some change here. So I made my declaration, my public declaration in-house here. So I'm going to be making some changes here, and I'm starting tomorrow. And so yeah, y'all pray for me. Keep me up in prayer, okay? And yeah, because it's got to get done. It's got to get done, y'all. So anyway, so yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna be working on too, as well. But yeah. So there you go. So anyway, good to see everybody here in the chat and everybody else who's be watching this later. Like I said, for those of you who don't know. We now have the ability, we've enabled the ability, if you will, here on YouTube, on our YouTube platform, where if you would like to contribute to the work that we do, you now have the ability to do that. You just look in the chat, you see the little $ thing, you can click on that. I'm not begging you to, I'm just letting you know, okay? That's just another option if you would like to use it. If not, it's okay, because we're going to do what he's called us to do, period. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know that that's something that we just did. And because we're making a whole lot of changes here, as you can see on the front end and on the back end, how we do certain things and all of that. And just really trying to be a better steward of my time, because after a while things start just running all together, and that's just not, it's just you just run into yourself. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, wait a minute, who's that down the street? Why are they running towards me? And as they come closer to me, they look just like me, because it is me, because literally that's how we've been running. But yeah, so we just gonna be making we're just making little tweaks and adjustments and things like that. And like I said, again, one of the things is Sundays around this time, 6 p.m. Around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing, it's not off Plantation Radio anymore. Not on this platform, because that's kind of counterproductive, because we want people off the plantation. So yeah, so what we do is we have a podcast version of Digital Plantation. All right. And so that's the podcast that we have. You can hear it right here on YouTube. And now we have a video portion of that. Okay. And where it will be, you and I, you can, we'll chat for it's not gonna be like, the other times where we just hit a whole list of different topics. Okay. We'll do that on the other side with Off Plantation Radio, where we have a list of things we'll go through, and we'll mix some music on there. Sometimes I may feel like playing a music video or something like that, or whatever, or showing you a clip of a movie or something, and want to be able to mix it up freely over there, and that's what we're going to be doing over on mybondtube.com. All right. And give me usually at the conclusion of this broadcast, give it about a half an hour. And, so for me to get set up and get everything lined up, and then we'll start back up over on mybondtube.com. All right. All righty. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's see where we're going to start from the top here. Let's see what we have here. Just some reminders. Let's hit this first things first. You just heard me talk about the, today we're going to get into this topic about dress codes. And it's a story that some of y'all may be aware of, not all of y'all, but some of y'all may be aware of. And I said, I am so tired of hearing about this. Why is a dress code becoming almost like an international story for black folks? Why is this always coming up? We're going to talk about that. Okay. We'll get into that in a moment. Okay. So anyway, here you go. So this is our Linktree page. Linktree.com/journeyman and woman. Thank you for whoever put that in the chat. Appreciate that. This is where you'll find all of our latest links, just about all of them, right here on this particular page. So if you are looking for videos or series that we've done in the past, well, this is the place that you'll come for that. Okay. And you'll find that if you're curious and you're like, besides YouTube, where else are you on? Well, here you go. You'll find it. We're on BondTube. That's the platform that we have. That's our platform. Thanks to you, those who contribute to that. We really appreciate you for that, because without you, there would be no My BondTube. So we thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. I actually we had some technical issues this weekend, and I had to reach out to him, and I said, oh, by the way, how much space do we have? And he was like, man, you only using like 20% of your space. I was like, oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, now. All right, you shouldn't have said that now. Now I can really do something. So, because, I've been really like kind of, okay, I don't know when this thing going to run out or not. But yeah, okay, all right, good. So we are doing more than fine, y'all. That's a very good investment. Mybondtube.com. The amount of videos that we can put on there, when I say we, I'm talking about you and I. It's a whole lot. And it gives us collectively an opportunity to share information that otherwise these other digital plantations won't allow us to. And as you know, we are in an information war right now, family. An information war. You got the powers that shouldn't be that want you focus on all kinds of other nonsense out there. But we are about the business. We want to make sure our people stay educated, informed, and so that you can make better decisions about whatever, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, there you go on My BondTube. And so we're also on the platform Odyssey. We're on that as well. So every video that I do here on YouTube, it automatically gets backed up on Odyssey. All right. Well, at least almost all of them. We're also on BitChute. Yes, the very racist BitChute. And I'm going to say it too. You should see the comments I get on there. Yeah, you got some characters on there, man. You got some characters on there. I was like, man, I got to disable these comments. But the subscribers keep coming, and people are like, man. And then you got other people. I'm like, man, I thank you. Appreciate this and all that. So I'm just like, whatever, y'all let me stay on here. Okay, good. I'm just looking for a way to back my stuff up in case YouTube starts acting up. But yeah, so yeah, we got our stuff on there too. And the message don't change. It's the same stuff that we say here. It's the same stuff you're going to see on there as well. We're going to, so anyway, so we got on BitChute, and we're also on Rumble. Rumble's low key that too. So, but we got our stuff on there as well. All right. So anyway, documentaries, not documentaries that we've done, of course, but these are documentaries that we have come across that you might find a bit interesting. And as I come across other documentaries, I'll link to those as well. We got health broadcasts. Here's some other series that we've done. Everything from let's see. Of course, we did one called The Real Moses, where we actually looked at historically who the individual Moses really was. And I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't seen that, you need to watch that one. All right. And it's not the one Hollywood gave us, and it's not the one that AI is giving. Have y'all seen? Okay. All right. I need to take a short break here. Okay. Now, as you know, we do, we have Chalk Stock, right? Where we do digital artwork. We do the AI artwork thing, right? Now, what I want people to understand, I guess this is a good segue for that. Okay. So let me just bring that up right quick. Okay. So what you're looking at right now, this is our website, chalkstock.art. Okay. And so what we basically, the goal of it is to present positive images of our people. Okay. And basically what we're doing is from everyday images to something a little more imaginative and all that. We're not presenting these as these are real, actual pictures. Okay. We're not saying that at all. But, if it's something artistic, like children, playing in a field, we got a young man here who looks like he's a farmer. We got couples. We did old school. We got like Victorian era. These are things that it's just, it's based on truth. Okay. On who we are. I think when I think of our culture, I'm talking about Black culture. When I think of our culture, it's like some people will look at our culture and they'll see nothing but the negative, right? It's like when you go to a flea market sometime. I was just at a flea market the other day and I called my mom. I was like, it was just dust, and more dust. I was in and out so fast. I was like, I don't know how people do it. These people were selling, I got a rusty screwdriver here. How much you want for it? $10. And it's like, but somebody wanted it. I'm like, why are you selling something like, anyway. So you got stuff like that, but you got other people who look in there like, well, dang, I really like that screwdriver. What model is that now? You know what? I'm going to take that home, polish it up and all of that, right? So you got that, so my point is that when you look at when we look at our culture, I'm talking about us now, there's a lot that can be pulled out of it, positive, you know what I mean? But it's based off of facts. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, we were farmers. Well, we weren't just farmers. We were artists. We were mathematicians. We were scientists. We were doctors. We were, herbalists. We were, we designed our own clothes, and we had dreams, visions, all this other stuff. Right? There's a whole lot of things that our people have done, and so what we do at Chalk Stock is that we just simply build on that. That's it. So it's based off of that. Reason why I'm saying this is because of the fact what I've been seeing out here. And I'm telling my brothers and sisters out here. Okay. My brothers and sisters in the Hebrew world. Yes. Y'all, please, y'all gonna have to pump the brakes a little bit on that. I've seen some of this stuff and I'm like, I'll give you an example. There's a picture out here someone did of Moses. Looks very dramatic, right? Moses is Black Moses, of course. He's coming through the Red Sea, right? And he's got the people behind him, and they're like, and I mean, this joint was a painting. That would be a nice painting. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it was a very nice painting. But here's the problem with it. Why was Moses and the children of Israel in this painting, in this picture, walking in waist high water? I was like, wait a minute now. Now, I've read that story about, I don't know how many times, seen the movies, seen the plays, seen the skits, seen the puppet shows, seen the cartoons. I don't recall seeing anything about Moses walking and the children of Israel walking in waist high water. I mean, I don't recall. I don't know. Maybe because I remember it saying that they walked on dry ground. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what I read. That was the Bible I had. I don't know which one you had. And so it's things like that. I'm just like, oh. Or they'll say these are the soldiers of Israel, and they'll have like Victorian armor on. Sorry. Some of y'all may not think it's funny, but it is. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, if you're going to go that route, make it historically accurate. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Make it somewhat in the ballpark historically accurate. I mean, I just, I don't know. I mean, it's so, you know, you do you. That's what you want to do. You do you. But, you know, I'm just saying for some folks out here, I knew when this technology, when it first came out, some folks were going to run way too far with this thing, man. They were going to go way too far with this. And I'm like, if you're going to use it, just try to keep it somewhat in the ballpark of historical accurate. I mean, just, you know, somewhere in there in the ballpark. Okay. I'm just saying, but it ain't just them. I ain't talking about just the Hebrews thing. You got the people who are saying that we ain't from Africa at all. You know, we were always here. We come from the natives. And it's like, oh man, because you got a whole beef going on right now between Native Americans and the people who want to be them and all of that. And they're literally having, we did a video on this a while back where and I showed you how they're actually taking pictures of Native Americans and darkening their faces. I mean, we talk about all the time about the whitewashing. You know, nobody really wants to talk about the blackwashing that's been happening as well. I'm not saying that you didn't have natives in this land that had dark skin, nor am I saying that natives were never black. I'm not saying that at all, because it is true. But what I am trying to tell you is, don't use the technology to reinvent your culture. Your culture is too beautiful and too awesome to rely on a technology to create another one. I mean, you know, just stay right where you are. I mean, when you just sit down and you think about, you know, the beauty and the just the wonderful stuff that's right within our culture, man, we can build on that and build some beautiful things. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Don't have your stuff, people dressing up like Victorian soldiers and calling them that this is what we really look like. And don't do that. Okay. I was trying to tell you, I'm sorry. Got the whole armor on like King Arthur's court. Got them looking up like they in King Arthur's court. I'm like, come on, y'all. Come on, this ain't even remotely convincing. I'm sorry. But anyway, all I'm saying is have fun with it, but understand that what's also important is with this technology, you got to be careful, because you do have people who will take it and run with it and say, see, and they will try to reinvent your culture. You understand what I'm saying? What we try to do with it is that we try to build on the tangible parts of our culture, and we just build on it, and we're trying to build it up even higher. That's the difference. And that's what any artist should do. You know what I mean? Even writing stories and things like that, we should build on what we have, you know, what we've already established. And there's some wonderful stories out there, you know, that we can just simply build on. That's it. You know what I mean? And, you know, something wrong with being creative and all that. But when you take these things and you claim it as this is what we look. Come on, y'all. Come on. Be looking like. I don't know. I see just like, y'all, please stop it. Robin Hood and his merry men, and they all black. I'm like, come on, y'all. That ain't, come on now. Come on. Wait a cotton picking minute here. Seriously, some people go way too far with it. And what we also do too is what people don't realize is that it's not as simple as just typing in words and saying, give me a picture of a black man that's strong, that is holding up the world while he's being supported by his pregnant wife who is looking very regal. It's more than that when you're typing in these particulars, when you're, you know, because what's also very helpful is that you need to have some understanding of artists and their type of in the way they work. Like, for example, it's not just you typing in what you want, but you also have to, be familiar with different artists out there through the ages. I'm not saying I know every artist, but I have resources that I can pull on and say, okay, give me something that looks like, the work of this artist plus this artist and this artist and, things like that. Or I could say, when it comes to photography, which I have a background in that, you also can add those different settings. So, for example, if I want to portray something that's in a low light setting, it's not just give me a bowl of fruit in a low light setting. It's more than that. It's you got to, if you want your picture your images to really stand out, you want to say, okay, this is the setting that I want you to use. This is the type of camera that you should use, that kind of thing. And that's what we do. Here on chalkstock.art is that we take all of that and we put all of that together and we try to come up with the most unique images that we can come up with. But at the same time, it's based off of us and who we really are, you know what I mean, as a people. And so we have a lot of fun with it. And what we did offer just this week, and we'll do this once a week here. Once a week, we have we're going to be offering a free image pack. And with these free images, you basically get 5 of them. It's free. It's no commitment. You ain't got to sign up for anything at all. All you got to do is come to the page, click on add to cart, download them, and you can use them for whatever you want to use them for. All right. And that's it. And that's what we do here, because we are very committed in, making our people shine. You know what I'm saying? And so let me see if I can I'm going to pull up one here in just a moment. Let me see. Give me just a moment here. And let me see if I can pull one up here. It was right here. Hold on. Let me see. This one I kind of liked here. All right, let me download that. Downloads. Okay, boom. All right, let me pull this up on the screen. This was just one we came up with. This is a Zulu elder studying the matrix code. This is one we came up with. Something like that. So, we just kind of play around with it. Now, again, it's a Zulu elder. Those are real people, right? And when you start reading about, different aspects of African spirituality, for example, these people were on a whole nother level in terms of understanding, codes and things like that within nature and all of that. It's really fascinating stuff. So anyway, so we just kind of, built it up a little bit and, did something. And we just, like I said, again, we play around with it a little bit, but we're not saying this is what they were. This is a real picture of it. We're not saying that. We just, kind of put something together there like that. And what we do is we'll do something like this. And then, our thing is we want people to see these things. And particularly for those writers that are out there, you can see this, you can look at this and come up with a whole story, a short story. One of these days, we want to do a short story contest where we take these images and we're going to put them out there and say, hey, listen, whoever can write a 500-word essay or a story, maybe, I don't know, 500, 1,000 words or whatever, short story contest. And then you'll win whatever, you know what I mean? Something like just based off of an image, because especially our young people, we want them to start really building up their imagination, their own imagination, where we're retraining ourselves to be able to look at things and to allow our imagination to fly. You understand what I'm saying? Because the technology right now, what it's doing is what this AI is doing is basically wanting to take over your imagination. Oh, we saw that a mile coming. So we'll use the technology, but we're going to use it still to put a challenge on ourselves to say, hey, listen, okay, we came up with this. All right, now let's challenge our minds to create our own space, our own things, because there's a whole ton of things that the Most High has put in us that no computer will be able to hold that. You understand what I'm saying? We'll not be able to manipulate it or control it at all. So that's what we want to do. So we'll be doing that. That'll be sometime in the future, but things like this, you can look at this image and come up with a full story on something behind this. He was an elder, and the white man, when the Europeans came in, he was, I don't know. You come up with it. You know what I mean? And so stuff like that we'll be doing that. So again, if you want your 5 free images, just go right there to chalkstock.art and there you go. Download them and there you go. Yeah, and Rohan said, great idea for young adults and children. Also older people too. We don't want our older people just sitting home all day and just, twiddling your thumbs and all that. If your mind is sharp, then keep on sharpening it. If it ain't sharp, then this is a great opportunity for you to do it. All right. So things like that. That's what we want to kind of foster and get our people, really start using your imagination, that imagination that the Most High is giving you. So anyway, let's move right along here. And we got one story we're going to talk about here. Here we go. Before we get to Samba Tree, we're going to touch on that very quickly here. Make sure you also bookmark linktree.com/Samba Tree. That's an easy one to remember. It's 2 trees. Linktree.com/Samba Tree. Now, here is another resource center that we created just for you. All right. So, of course, at the top, you have the links to the webpage Samba Tree and then the Facebook page of Samba Tree. You got that as well. I just uploaded a video this week on there, too. And it was a woman giving a testimony of what happened when she used sour sop tea and black seed oil. She had stage 4 cancer. Notice I said the word had. She ain't got it no more. Okay, so anyway, you want to check that video out and we upload that on Facebook. And anyway, so of course you have like links to, products that we have on there, but it's more than that. All right, we got informative articles. We have videos, videos that we pulled across the internet, things that are, that you'll find to be quite helpful and will be a benefit to you. Then we have the Samba Tree book library. Okay, all of these books are 100% free. You can download these. As I come across more books, I'll be adding more to these as well. So it's just kind of a real, just a resource center that you can go to, and that will be a benefit to you if there's like things like whenever they start up the whole, COVID part 2 thing again or whatever, if there's certain forms and stuff you need or whatever, we're going to make sure we put all of that here. All right. So that you can come here and you can get all the stuff that you need. Okay. And we're also going to be working on doing some interviews with some medical people too, as well. That's another thing that I already got some people in mind I want to touch bases with, where we'll be doing that. But we would not be having those interviews on this platform here on YouTube for obvious reasons. So that's another thing that we're going to be, doing as well. So anyway, let's move right along here. Let's see. She sent me something. Give me just a moment here. Let me see. All right, let's see. Got to catch all y'all up to date. I got to catch myself up to date with all this stuff here, man. Anyway, let's go here real quick here. Samba Tree, this is the email that just went out. If you're not on the email list, just go to sambatree.com. And here's some quick things that we put in that email. We got the essential care kit made with moss is back in stock. All right, so there you go right there. It's got the purifying facial cleanser, the original made with the moss bar, soap bar, and the moisturizing facial whip. And the reason why it's called made with moss is because it has sea moss in it as one of the main ingredients in it. All right. And let me see. I'll just read this. It has been out of stock for months We just received a brand new shipment of our favorite sea moss facial cleanser by Made with Moss. We received so much great feedback on the chocolate chai soaps from Made with Moss. If you haven't tried them, you are definitely missing out on the dessert bar at bath time. And it does smell just like chocolate, man, when you put that on. Anyway, new Made with Moss chocolate chai sea moss body bars. It smells so good, you want to melt it down, put it in a jar, and drink it. Anyway, quick note, the cream honey oops sea moss soaps are at low inventory and will not be restocked. These are sold at deep discount and available in bulk. Stock up on your pantry now and get these amazing natural sea moss soaps for less than toxic grocery store brands. And then there you go right there. So anyway, so you click on the link there and that will take you, of course, to sombertree.com. So there you go. So these are all the things that we have, and then some. We have a whole dental care lineup. We got body creams, oils, we got food seasonings, we got powders, we got all kinds of stuff there. Again, check it out. It's sombertree.com. All right. So let's move on from there. Let's see what else we have. And I think that's it. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. So anyway, so one more time for those that are just coming in, we're changing things up here a little bit. We are going from, what we had at one time, up to this point, we would call this broadcast, Off Plantation Radio. But the problem is you can't talk about Off Plantation Radio while you're on the digital plantation. So we're going to move off. We move Off Plantation Radio off on mybondtube.com. So at the conclusion of this broadcast that you're watching here, we are going to give me about a half an hour, and then we're going to do Off Plantation Radio on mybondtube.com. And that's where it ain't going to just be news, things that we can really talk about, but it's going to be music. We're going to have our own music. We're going to play whatever, if there's a movie clip, whatever it is that this plantation won't allow us to play, we're going to play it over there, okay? And we'll have some fun in the process too, okay? So that's what will happen about a half an hour at the conclusion of this broadcast. But the purpose of this one is really kind of just touch on one or two stories, and really that's it, and any updates we need to give, and there you go, okay? Let me see. We're going to jump right into this here. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this up real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and get started here. Okay, so real quick here. So we did our Samba gathering teaching over on BondTube yesterday. And unfortunately, I was thinking, okay, it's uploaded. It'll be fine. So I went out and did my thing or whatever. And unfortunately, it didn't upload. I was like, what the heck? And I find out there was some technical issues. So I uploaded over on Odyssey, and then I was working with the guy this morning, and we was able to get it resolved. And so now it's also uploaded on mybondtube.com. All right. But yeah, so yesterday we talked about, the topic of it was holding the promises accountable. All right. That was the topic. And so what we've been doing, if you're not familiar with our platform here, is that we have been taking a much closer look at the Bible. We've been taking a much closer look at the Bible, and asking questions. All right. That's what we've been doing, asking a series of questions. We've been investigating. We have been looking at who are the actual people that put together this book. Who are the ones that actually forced us to take on this book? We're questioning everything. And for some people, that's a quite scary thing to do. And I've gotten messages and emails, you got a significant platform here. You got to be careful now what you're doing. Be careful for asking questions. This ain't no plan. We ain't on that plantation. No, we free over here. We free Negroes over here. Okay. So we going to ask questions. And so that's what we're doing. So we're taking deep dives and looking at things from a historical perspective, and just comparing things and notes and things like that. So it's a lot of information. But yesterday we took it simple. And basically what we did was looked at a few things, looked at a lot of some of the promises that were mentioned in scripture. And then we had to ask ourselves, honestly, have you seen these things manifested in the time that they said they were going to take place? So we had that conversation. So if you don't try to answer that right here in the chat, go and watch the video first, and then you can answer it over there, okay? Because some people, they ain't got no patience. They just, well, I know. Be quiet. Go and watch that first, okay? Let me stop you before you start, okay? So that's what we talked about. That video's over there, okay? Let's go now to, let me see what else I got over here. Oh, okay. Let me mention this real quick here. Costco. Remember we talked about the, I think I did a post on this a while back. Bill Nasty Gates, or Bill Gates of Hell. He did he has another company called Apeel, Apeel. All right. And basically it's a coating that they spray on fruit in order to preserve it so that it can stay good longer, But the only thing is there's some other things that they add to it that ain't good for you. Of course, if Bill Gates is behind it, then you probably need to leave it alone. Well, anyway, this notice went out here, and apparently Costco, they said their organic apples are in fact sprayed with Apeel. So that's just something to keep in mind there. When you're out there doing your produce shopping, keep that in mind, family. Just be careful. Do your research on these things. Of course, the best thing to do is to grow your own stuff. Of course, we know that. But for a lot of people, that's not convenient yet. But you can certainly make the time to, find places in your own state, in your own county, in your own community where people are growing their stuff without this stuff. And trust me, there are a lot of people, that you will find right in your own community that aren't doing the Bill Gates thing. You know what I mean? And what we've been really trying to do is to get our people, people who do own land, who do grow their own produce and stuff, creating a network where if people need stuff, produce and things like that, you can reach out to people and say, hey, listen, what do you have? And we can do an exchange, that kind of thing. So, that's been a slow and steady process, but it's coming along, but that's the mindset that we have to have, bartering and growing our own stuff and doing our own trade and all that stuff. That's how our people made it, family. When the United States economy wanted to shut us out, black folks got together and we said, we'll forget that. We got our own farms. We got our own produce. We're going to grow our own stuff. And that's how we're going to do that. And that's what we need to do now. That's the mindset we need to have, especially now, So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, family. Make sure I covered everything that I needed to touch on. And yes, I did. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's get to the story here. Main story of this broadcast today. Some of y'all, I'm not sure, may have heard of this story here. And long story short, it's a black woman who's a dentist. And she put a sign on her door that has caused a lot of people who ain't liking it. And let me pull this up here for you. It's right here. Okay, so a dentist who owns her own practice implemented a new dress code that some people are praising, but others are calling it anti-black. Okay, she's black, so she's doing that because she's anti-black. Okay, no bonnets, no house shoes, no pajama bottoms. Okay, that's what she put on there. And she said, we will be happy to reschedule your appointment. And this is per Dr. Sutton. And she says, thank you, and put a nice little smiley face on there. All right. And I have seen people on social media going in on this woman. I mean, even talking about that's her dentist office. It looked like it's in the hood somewhere and all. I mean, just going in on this individual. Because she has a standard, there's a standard that she expects. Now, as the title of this broadcast that you're watching right now suggests, you are what you dress. You are what you dress. So if you dress like this, then it has a reflection of you. And the thing is this, what people have to understand is when things are broken down in the household, unfortunately, you need the people like the Dr. Suttons, if you will, in this particular case, to stand in and to show you and teach you how to dress. Now, that's sad, isn't it? That's very sad that has to be the case, but it is. You understand what I'm saying? So she's doing what should have been taught in the homes of these people who are angry at her for wanting to have a standard. Because some people may say, well, what does that got to do with, dental care? What if all she's supposed to be doing is offering dental care? What does that got to do with dental care? Well, it's not, quite honestly, not much at all. But this is really about you and how you see yourself. And wanting, because if Dr. Sutton, for example, and the other people out there like her, if she's not taking a stand and saying, hey, listen, come up higher, you can come up higher. You don't have to walk around like that. If she ain't doing it, then who is? Who else is going to do it? Who else is going to do that? Who else is going to provoke our people to good works? You understand what I'm saying? Who else is going to do that? I don't have any problem with this. I applaud this kind of stuff. I remember times where you have black folks who, in fact, I have another example I want to give you as well. And what happens, and remember now, you are what you dress. Okay, so with that being said, what I want to do is, there was another example, and this goes to our, for those of our brothers and sisters in the Texas area, you may have heard of this story here. All right, so let me see which one can I play. I think I'll play this one here. Hold on for a second. This right now is an ad, of course, and then we'll get. All right. Okay, so there is, and there might be a little bit of language in here, y'all. So it might be, I'm not sure, because I remember seeing this one before. There is a restaurant that's quite famous down in Texas, and it's called the Turkey Leg Hut. And I've heard nothing but positive about it. They said the food is good and it's just awesome and all of that. And I haven't been in Texas in a minute, but if I were to be in that area, I would certainly stop through, and because I've heard nothing but good about it. So, but anyway, very, very popular from what I understand. Well, particularly amongst us. And so people start coming in, and of course your cousins start coming in. You know what I mean by that. Someone said, I can't understand the bonnets. I don't understand it either. I want to, well, because it don't even matter at this point. Because the next thing is going to be, we just walking out in our drawers. That's it. Our drawers and our bras. Drawers and bras. That's going to be the next thing. Then it's going to be next thing, we just straight up butt naked. So anyway, there's no end to it. Anyway, so let me go to this video here. And the owners of the Turkey Leg Hut, they also had to implement a dress code. And in this interview, the short clip here, I think I have two of them here. They are talking about that and why they had to do what they did. And so let's take a listen here to this interview.
A culture inside of your restaurant, like it. I remember coming about 2 years or 3 years ago. It's about 3 years now, and nighttime, packed. Like you guys, you really got a great environment just overall.
It's a double sword.
But let me ask you, because you kind of like off in the hood down there. You got this new dress code that I saw go like
It's not new.
It
No,
went all
it's
over
not.
the
It's
internet.
not
No,
new.
let me tell you this. Let me please let me break down
Let's
this
go
dress
break
code.
this
Let
down.
me
So let this go viral.
please let me break down this dress code. The dress code was implemented simply because in all of the years that we have been in business, we never had to implement a dress code. We never have to tell people how to act. We never had to do anything like that. Now it came to a point where you have people coming in just wearing any and everything. And you can visibly see other customers bothered by what these people have on. As a man, he
I'd
was
be
bothered.
like, damn.
A lot of times people say, "Oh, she implemented the dress code because she didn't want her to looking at women and da 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 da." It was him. It was his idea.
I ain't gonna lie,
It was his
fucked up.
idea. It was his idea to
It's
implement a dress
you
code.
bring your child in there, and the child looks and says, "Mommy, I've seen it where we sit," and they look at the daddy like,
And then you
Thong
sit
gone.
there. While you sitting there, you got our kids come to the restaurant from time to time, and you got women that no clothes on, they just sitting there, they twerking. It's like, what happened to our self-respect as women?
I also saw it's a restaurant owner in Dallas who also had like an issue where he
Yeah.
where people were like twerking and doing.
and I
stuff
respect
like,
him. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I respect it. You know, one thing I always say, and I'm not going. It's not a race card, man. Y'all don't go in them goddamn white spots and do all that. Y'all don't go in Eddie V's. Y'all don't go in McCormick Smith. Y'all don't go in that
Papa
twerking.
Do's. Y'all
Let me
don't
tell you
go any of
something.
that.
And she'll tell you this: we have a DJ.
We do.
So the flip side to this is, you know, with the other side, we don't have a DJ. Don't set up your environment. She'll tell you this: I done fired DJs for playing pop, all that type of shit. No, see, I don't
seriously.
play, man.
Seriously.
Man, I don't fuck around. I play country and R&B. If a woman,
And we don't take requests.
I don't take no birthday
take
song,
requests.
no nothing. You will get fired for playing some bullshit. The DJ sets the tone.
The DJ sets the tone.
If you play, it's your birthday, what you think black women gonna do if they've been drinking 42?
Start tearing it up.
Yeah.
Hey, when they start getting crunk, you know what I tell? I text the DJ, put on Nora Jones.
He not lying.
Put on Nora.
He
You'd
not
be surprised
lying.
when them black people say when that Nora come on. They look at the DJ. It comes there. Twerk off Nora. With your tough ass. Yeah. Twerk off Nora with your tough ass. Try it. You a bad motherfucker if you twerk off Nora. Trust me.
Man.
Put on twerk off Luther, big Luther.
But is he lying though? Is he lying? But it's a shame that it had to come to that. You understand? It's a shame, but it's true. And I have another one here. Let me see if there was another one that they did. This was from the news. Hold on, let's look at this one here. Hold on, is this one? Hold on. Okay, this is the news one. All right, let's see, sis. All right, we'll skip that, John. All right, here we go. All right, now this is the news. They were covering this same issue here because apparently it became like a big thing. I mean, my gosh. I mean, it's just a dress code. Why is this becoming such a big issue? Anyway.
Turkey Leg Hut is getting national attention this weekend after implementing a controversial dress code. Fox 26's Chelsea Edwards tells us why the popular restaurant is now in the hot seat.
Turkey Leg Hut was trending nationwide on Twitter after posting these new dress code rules. Some say it alienates their customers. Others say it's about time. Turkey Leg Hut draws in crowds from across the nation with its famously stuffed legs. That's what the restaurant says it wants to see less of in this dress code posted Friday that excludes bonnets and exposed undergarments and states all body parts must be completely covered.
Makes your meal much more pleasant. You had to change our clothes.
Critics cooked up social media jokes featuring black tie and Amish attire as the new requirement, but others accused the restaurant of kicking out the same fan base that made them popular, even calling the owners racist.
We're a restaurant and we're not a club, let alone a strip club.
The restaurant says its family-friendly atmosphere has been taking a hit during the return to summer fun, with some customers complaining about what was hanging out at the table next to them.
As we see, people coming in with pants all the way below the bottom of their derriere. We see, women coming in with nothing but exposed butt and thigh.
They also say the first post was a draft not meant to be published. It was replaced with this list that prohibits excessively revealing clothing.
It was not implemented to change our image. We still like to have a good time, but at the same time, it's an environment where there are children here, there are older people here.
Turkey Leg Hut says there are no other changes in the works, but guests who don't follow the guidelines may be turned away.
I would think it's appropriate for them to cover up. I mean, if you're coming here and you're coming here for business, you don't want to come here for that.
leaving some diners to enjoy their turkey meat while seeing less skin at the table. In 3rd Ward, Chelsea Edwards, Fox 26 News.
Okay, so, so as you see here, they had to put a standard, and we're just talking clothes. That's it. Nobody's telling them anything. I mean, they're literally just talking about the clothes and what they're wearing here. Because why? Because you got children, but not just children. You got other adults that don't want to see your stinking behind. If I'm going to a restaurant with my wife, I don't want to be surrounded by jiggling. Okay? If I want to be surrounded by jiggling, I would go to a strip club, which you ain't going to find me ever. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's really comes down to dignity and self-respect. That's really what it comes down to. And so to have a population of people, a demographic, if you will, a demographic of people who are actually angry at this. Because people will say, well, you're just doing this because you're trying to go after them white people and you're trying to get that white money. Nobody ain't think about no white money. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see that. Come on, make it clap, make it clap. And I'm up here trying to eat some pancakes or something like that. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing here? So I hats off to people like the Dr. Suttons, and hats off to people like this couple here who are really trying to raise a standard in how business is to be done. You understand what I'm saying? But it's sad because what they also are doing is that they're doing the same thing. Unfortunately, this is what happens when other people have to play catch up to what you didn't have in your house. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a shame. And this is what has to happen. So if mama and daddy ain't going to teach you to pull your drawers up, then guess what's going to happen? The business owner is going to have to tell you that. You understand what I'm saying? The school teachers, the police, and the governments and all that, they're going to have to tell you at some point. Now, I'm not going to show this video, because if I show this video to you, I know they will say, oh, you going out of here, Dwayne. I'm talking about YouTube, but I would not show it anyway. But I want to kind of figure out how to show this to y'all, though. But I'm going to try to clip it here. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay. All right. I think I got it. Okay. All right. I am not going to make this big here. I'm trying to see. Hold on. I'm scrolling through it now. Okay, so right there. Okay, so right. Okay, that would be good. All right, we're going to do this. Now, this is a black woman in an airport. I don't know what airport she's in, but she's in a public space in an airport. And she decided to treat this place as her own personal bedroom / runway. This is in an airport. I don't know when this video was taken, but I want you to take a look at what she's wearing. Now, I'm not playing this video. I'm not going to play this. If I play this video, what you're going to see is that she's not wearing any underwear. Like literally, she pulled this thing back and everything down below was seen. And she was giggling and laughing and everything else. Everything was being seen. She's in an airport. And this is how she's walking around in public. As far as children and stuff are concerned, or people who just don't want to see that, forget you. And see, it's the things like this that when they go down, then guess what's going to happen? Then the police going to have to get involved. They get too many complaints, or security. And as soon as security put their hands on her, you and I both know what happens next. Not even 24 hours later, she will have posted all on social media her graduation pictures and how she's studying to be a nurse. You know how this story goes. But to dress like this in a public space, this is no dignity or respect for herself or the people around her. So when you see people and when you hear people like the Dr. Suttons, like this couple with the turkey hut, for example, doing this, understand that sadly and unfortunately, they are playing the role of parent, because if you're grown and someone has to tell you how not to dress, that says to me all day that I don't even need to know what your home life was like. I don't even need to know that. And no, I'm gonna tell you right now, that, my friends, isn't Black culture. Let me say that again. That foolishness that you see right there, that isn't Black culture. That's ignorant culture, okay? Within Black culture, you have an ignorant class. Within white culture, you have an ignorant class. Within the Hispanic culture, you have an ignorant class. Within, name it, Asian culture, Jewish culture, you have an ignorant class amongst in every culture that's out there. And we need more voices out here that are standing up and saying, no, there is a distinct difference between Black culture and ignorant culture, because the two are not the same. But Hollywood would like to blend it all together, right? And the little people, the underlings that they have out here trying to bridge it all together. No, that's ignorant. That's dumb and is wicked. And we need to say that more and more and more, because there's a lot of sisters out here that wouldn't do that. And with this dummy out here flexing, popping her stuff all over the place, she's not even thinking about the whole airplane thing. You telling me you're going to sit down on an airplane on a seat with your butt all out, your cheeks all out, and everything else all out on a public seat, and people got to smell that? You don't know what you're sitting on. That's why see, COVID, this whole COVID thing, you know how we felt about that, right? We ain't going to get into that. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm not a germaphobe, and I prayed to the Most High I'll never be that, okay? Because I'm just going to keep on living my life. I ain't going to be walking around in no fear. But I will tell you this, when I'm out, I do be thinking about stuff. When people, especially when I was on that airplane, I was like, okay, y'all doing this coughing chorus up here. And then, you don't know what you got, okay, let me wipe my hands real quick here. Let me, or sometimes I'll just get an inkling. You know what? Because typically when I go into the grocery store, I grab my cart and I just do my thing. I'm not like, I don't do that. I didn't do it before and I ain't doing it now, right? But sometimes, it just get a little thing in the back of my mind, like, you should go back and do that. And I'm like, okay, I don't even question it. I'll be like, do it. I don't do it all the time, but I do it. You know what I mean? But my point is that you got folks out here, they don't wash. See, a lot of times people want to talk about, oh, these white people, you listen to them, they don't take baths and they don't do all this stuff. You got a lot of folks that look like us that do the same thing. How you gonna sit in a seat, a public seat, with your cheeks out? I mean, that's not funny. That ain't sexy. It sure ain't no sexy. That's crazy. And it's bad enough you got folks on the plane farting and everything. Now they ain't wearing nothing. I remember this, I saw this one story where this woman, she literally was washing her drawers. I'm not making this up. She was washing her drawers. You know how in the airplanes, they give you, a little cup of water, right? If you ask for it. Well, she took her drawers, put it in a cup of water, and was washing it like a little scrub board thing in the airplane. And then on top it off, she takes it, and the little air thing up at the top? Yes, she did. I know I just heard someone say, oh, no, she did. Yes, she did. She most certainly did. She took it and held it up to the air thing, drying it off. Now, I told my wife, I said, if I ever, don't ever let me catch somebody doing it, because I ain't going to, see, I'm not that polite Negro. I'm not like, well, yeah, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't trying, don't start nothing, don't be nothing to everybody. I'm like, wait a minute now, this is my air. Anyone will smell your drawers air up in here? Like, no, nothing. I'm just in my own little world, in my own little space. And I ain't thinking about no. You understand what I'm saying? So my point is that you got a lot of folks out here who just don't have home training. And what this story about getting back to this Dr. Sutton, what it's really revealing is that you have a lot of people out here because they don't have their home training. Now it's up to the other adults in the room to speak out and say, you're crazy. And no, you ain't coming up in here if you dress like that. You understand what I'm saying? And people are like, well, why are you going to say that? I should be able to see and see what people don't understand. See, the whole sisters thing, when sisters say, see, as a man, you trying to see, that don't work on me. I'm never the one on that. Okay. Don't think that you're going to try to beat me down and say, as a man, you trying to beat us down with, and trying to get us not to, you're trying to make us with your chauvinist stuff. You're trying to, no, I ain't being chauvinist. I just have I apparently have more respect for you than you have for yourself. Now, you want to dress like you just came out of your mama, then you can do that every place you want to do it, but not in front of me, period. Okay? If I'm in a space that I control, do you understand what I'm saying? If I had a business or something like that, and you come up in my business and you dressing up like one of them Star Wars dancers in Jabba the Hutt's place, you know what I'm saying? 2 Band-Aids and a cork or something. If you come up, no, that ain't gonna work. That's not going to work. Not around here, it isn't. And if I'm, and let's say if I went to the beach, and let's say I was surrounded by people who were dressed kind of whatever, then it's quite simple. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, y'all going to hell. No, I'll just find another beach. It's simple. I don't have to make a scene. I'm like, you know what? This ain't going to work for me. Let me find somewhere else to go. And that's what you do. That's it. It's simple. You know what I mean? You ain't got to make a whole scene about it. You ain't got to be up here prophesying and telling everybody y'all bunch of Jezebels. That's what okay, well, that's what they are. But I'm not going to stay there. Let me keep it moving. Now, if you're in my space, right? And you up here like, so Dwayne, and you got to dip down and I got the swing low, sweet chariot swinging in my face. I'm like, okay, well, that ain't working here. So you may just go and pull that stuff up and keep it moving, because that ain't working, okay? And it ain't gonna work. And so yeah, so when I saw that story about that and just saw how many people were just going in on this sister, I was like, hold on, man, y'all, no, we need to make a statement on that, and more people need to make a statement on that when you see that kind of stuff. I'm not into. Sometimes when I do see, there's nothing wrong, you got to be careful now these days too, because some of these folks here, you see some of these younger men out here, walking around, if they are dressed inappropriately, you got to be careful with that too. Because I know I got some grandmas out here that'll be like, young man, you shouldn't be, you got to be careful these days. You got to be careful. You got to be careful, because these folks will turn around and beat you up. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to learn to read the room too with that. You got to learn to read the room. If you feel like, hey, listen, I can say this to them, and it should, whether they listen to me or not is irrelevant, but I don't feel like as if they're going to threaten me or kill me for saying something, then you just read the room and you just go accordingly. But if you feel like these dudes may go off, especially if you on a subway, let me tell you something. If you on a subway or on a bus, on public transportation, there's enough crazy people on these modes of operation, on public bus or train. All of us, I think, who have experience riding, the public bus or, train or whatever, trolley, depending on what city you're in, if a crazy person comes on the bus, we all got the training. Dwayne, I still hear my mom, don't look at them. Don't look at them. You know, I'd be still cutting my eye, wanting to see what they're doing. But Mom, I'm trying to look. I'd be still cutting my eye, be sweating because I got to see what. I'm like, what is this man saying? This man acting crazy. This man talking about he just finished speaking to E.T. and Elmer Fudd. I want to hear about this. You know, I'm up here trying to look straight. Look straight. You better look straight, and that's what you do. So we got that training earlier. So you got folks out here today, you know. So when you're at the train station, you at that. Most of us notice. That's why this whole story about this G.I. Joe up in New York who felt like he had to haul off and kill that man, that young man in the train. You on some other stuff, okay? You on some other stuff. You didn't have to kill that man. You could have did the same thing that them 60 and 70-year-old grandmothers do on those subways. They turn and they either get up, go to the next train, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or they just ignore, and 9.9 times out of 10, nothing ever happens to them. But he came in and he just, nigga, I'm gonna kill you. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, that's some other stuff you got in you now. You know, but so learn to read the room in these days. But nonetheless, I will say this, we got to be a people. This is the mess that we've inherited. You understand what I'm saying? It just is when it comes to, you know, helping our people. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to need more voices like yourselves to speak out on these things and let our people know, hey, listen, you're a lot better than this. We're not an ignorant people. You may be ignorant, but as a people, no, we're not. All right. It's time for us to start raising the standard when it comes to our own people. All right. Family, thank you so much for joining us. You guys take care. And the time right now is 7:23. Give me to about 7:45-ish. And we will do our Off Plantation radio broadcast over on mybondtube.com. All right. The audio version, of course, is recorded of what you just heard. We'll put that on SoundCloud later on this evening. All right, family. You guys take care. Love you very much. And I'll see you next time. Take care.